Miguel steps onto the soccer field with a steady breath and a heart full of both pride and quiet uncertainty. He's 30 years old, and this match, under a bright afternoon sun, with the air alive from the cheers of devoted fans, has the scent of an ending he never quite anticipated. He can feel the energy in the stadium, the collective pulse of countless voices chanting, flags waving in a blur of colors, and the anticipation of another brilliant performance. As he adjusts his captain's armband, he's aware that this might be his last game as a professional player. He's been here countless times before, the grass under his cleats, the adrenaline singing in his veins, the strategy echoing in his mind. He's tasted victory and disappointment, learned to wield both talent and humility. Yet today, something is different. There's a subtle finality in the air. He looks over at his teammates, men he has run alongside for seasons, sharing sweat, laughter, and heartbreak. Some grin at him, confidence shining on their faces, while others carry a tinge of sadness. They know he's considering retiring, hanging up these boots that have carried him so far. He can't escape the feeling that this moment marks the end of an era. His coach, a figure who's guided him through tactical evolutions and mental ruts, stands near the sideline. Their eyes meet, no words needed. The coach's nod conveys respect and acceptance. Beyond the field's white lines, in the stands, Miguel's parents and siblings watch with unwavering support. They are part of the foundation that allowed him to grow from a neighborhood kid who kicked a tattered ball around cracked pavement to a professional who inspired young fans. He can almost hear his mother's voice cheering him on, his father's proud silence, and his siblings' teasing encouragement. As the referee's whistle signals the start of the match, Miguel immerses himself in the play. The ball at his feet moves like an extension of himself, his body fluid and sure, his mind calm yet alert. He pushes forward, orchestrating passes, reading the opposition's formation, and seeking that perfect opportunity. This might be the last time he feels this particular surge of exhilaration on a professional field. With every sprint and turn, he savors the sensation, tries to imprint it on his memory, the roar of the crowd, the scent of grass, the feel of the wind on his sweat-dampened face. Minutes before halftime, the ball finds him in the penalty area. He senses the defender closing in, the weight of expectations pressing on his shoulders. With a twist of his body and a deft touch, he sends the ball curling toward the far corner of the net. In that instant, everything pauses, the crowd holds its breath, his teammates freeze in mid-step. When the ball hits the back of the net, the stadium erupts into wild celebration. The goal is like a perfectly penned final sentence in a chapter of his life. This might be his last goal as a professional player, and it's a beauty. Jogging back toward the center line, he lifts his arms in acknowledgement. He wants this moment to linger, to remind himself that he's leaving at his peak. Yet even as he basks in the applause, he's thinking ahead. Once this game ends, once the cheers fade, he plans to dedicate himself to a new dream, inspiring young athletes to believe in their potential. He imagines coaching kids in his old neighborhood, guiding them to trust their instincts, to find strength in teamwork, to dream big no matter where they come from. For now, he focuses on the present. He finishes the match with poise and grace, every touch on the ball imbued with the knowledge that he's earned the right to step away on his own terms. When the final whistle blows, he stands tall, sweat cooling on his skin, and looks around. The fans keep chanting his name as if trying to hold onto him a little longer. His teammates embrace him, and he feels their gratitude and admiration. Among them, he spots a few faces, young players who've grown under his guidance, who learned from his leadership on the field. Miguel soaks in the scene. The final goal he scored still warms his chest like a glowing ember. He's leaving behind a legacy in this arena, but he's also preparing for a fresh start, one where he'll use his experience, resilience, and love for the sport to shape future generations. He wants to show them that whether or not they reach professional status, the values learned on this field, discipline, respect, passion, are tools they can carry into life's every battle. He waves to the crowd, and as he steps off the field, there's a sense of calm determination in his gaze. Little does he know how drastically life will soon change. Yet at this precise moment, he holds in his heart the spark of a new purpose, one that fate will challenge in ways he can't yet imagine. The quiet hum of hospital machinery replaces the cheers and chants that once defined Miguel's world. Sterile white walls and the faint odor of antiseptics contrast sharply with the green grass and roaring stadium he last experienced. It's still hard to piece it all together. One moment he was confident on the field, scoring that final goal. The next he was behind the wheel of his car, and then darkness, noise, a blur of confusion and pain. Now, as he drifts in and out of consciousness, lying in a hospital bed, the enormity of what's happened settles in like a heavy weight on his chest. He opens his eyes slowly, the ceiling above unfocused. There's a dull ache that radiates through his entire body, an unsettling emptiness where he once felt strength. His head throbs, and he can sense bandages, tubes, and wires connected to him, monitoring every breath and heartbeat. He hears whispers nearby, his mother's voice, choked with worry, his father's hushed attempts to reassure her. Siblings exchanging quiet remarks, their words muffled by fear and uncertainty. He tries to call out, but his throat is dry, and only a faint sound escapes. A nurse notices he's awake and approaches with calm professionalism. She calls for the doctor. Within moments, Dr. Elena Ramirez stands over him, her eyes compassionate but serious. He remembers her name from earlier, vaguely, in the haze of pain and medication. She speaks gently, explaining that he's stable now, that the crash was severe, and that his legs were gravely injured. She mentions surgeries, life-saving interventions, procedures performed to keep him alive. Her tone is kind, but her words carry a finality that chills him. Both of his legs have been amputated below the knee. For a moment, everything else fades, the beeping machines, the soft sobs from his mother, the doctor's steady gaze. All Miguel can think of is what this means. He tries to move his feet, to feel the familiar weight of his legs. There's nothing. A phantom sensation rattles him, his mind insisting his limbs should be there, yet the truth is stark and undeniable. He wants to scream, to cry, to bargain for another chance. Instead, tears roll silently down his cheeks as he stares at the ceiling, heart pounding in shock and sorrow. His family gathers close, forming a protective circle around his bed. His father's eyes are red-rimmed but steady. He squeezes Miguel's hand and whispers that they're here for him, that he's not alone. His mother weeps softly, stroking his hair as if he were a child again. His siblings, usually teasing and playful, stand solemn and supportive, each grasping for the right words to comfort him. He can feel their love, but love can't undo what's been done. Hours blur together as Miguel processes this harsh new reality. He thinks of the final match he played, the goal he scored, how he planned to retire gracefully and mentor young athletes. Now that future seems impossibly distant. The identity he cultivated over decades, the gifted player, the team captain, the man who understood the language of a soccer ball flying across a pitch, has shattered. He wonders who he is without his legs, without the ability to run, pivot, and shoot. His entire sense of self feels crushed beneath the weight of loss. Doctors come and go, explaining next steps. They talk about pain management, rehabilitation, prosthetics that could help him walk again someday. But to Miguel, these are hollow promises he can't yet grasp. The emotional toll overshadows any distant hope. He drifts into uneasy sleep, awakening to find his family still present. Their vigil is unwavering. They take turns sitting by his side, holding his hand, speaking softly about anything to fill the silence, childhood memories, the neighbors asking about him, messages of support from friends and teammates who have heard the news. The soccer world outside continues spinning, teams train for upcoming matches, fans discuss recent games, and players chase their next victory. Inside this hospital room, time feels suspended. Miguel tries not to imagine the stadium now, the field he once controlled so elegantly. He tries not to think about the training ground, where he honed his skills until his muscles burned. The life he knew is unreachable, and he must face the void left behind. Nights are the hardest, when the pain flares and the fear grows louder. He questions everything. Why him? Why now? Why this terrible twist of fate? He knows self-pity won't change a thing, but he can't help feeling cheated. The silence after visiting hours end is deafening. He closes his eyes, tears seeping from the corners, and calls on every bit of resilience he has. Remembering his final match, he tries to channel the spirit that once drove him to chase dreams. But the pain and grief overshadow his old determination. Yet, amid the darkness, small signs of comfort appear. A letter arrives from his old coach, expressing shock and sadness, urging him not to lose heart. A bouquet of flowers from teammates, who promise to stand by him as friends no matter what. Cards and messages flow in from fans who admired his skill and kindness on and off the field, assuring him he still matters, that he's still Miguel, not just the sum of his injuries. His family's presence remains constant. They help him eat when his hands tremble, adjust his pillows, keep him updated on the outside world. They refuse to let him sink entirely into despair. He feels their love as a steady anchor, reminding him that he's not defined solely by his legs or his profession. He's still a son, a brother, a man with a mind and heart capable of finding new meaning. And then there's a subtle shift, just a faint flicker of thought in his weary mind. Maybe, beyond the field, he can still influence young athletes. Maybe he can find another way to inspire, to guide others toward their dreams, even if he can no longer sprint or take that perfect shot. It's just a faint idea, dwarfed by the intensity of the current pain. But it's there, a seed waiting to take root when the time is right. For now, he focuses on surviving these initial days, on allowing himself to grieve what he's lost, and on accepting the care and concern of those who stand around his bed. The world he knew may have ended with that catastrophic accident, but he's alive, and as long as he breathes, he can forge a new path, however unclear it may seem. The hospital lights cast a gentle glow over him as he closes his eyes, bracing himself for the struggle ahead. He may be broken, but he's not finished. The next chapter of his life awaits, even if he can't yet imagine what shape it will take. He wakes to the gentle hum of hospital corridors, carts rolling past, and distant conversations. Days have blurred into each other since he learned the extent of his injuries, but now something feels different. The door opens quietly, and Dr. Elena Ramirez steps in. She's introduced herself before, but this is the first time Miguel truly registers her presence. Her calm demeanor and steady gaze speak of experience and empathy. She explains that today they'll begin a more rigorous rehabilitation process, a next step in his long journey toward physical and emotional healing. He listens as she outlines the plan. It's not just about healing incisions or adapting to prosthetics in the future. It's about rebuilding his body's strength, teaching it to move and balance again without the legs he once took for granted. Miguel nods, though part of him reels at the thought of learning to stand, walk, and possibly run in a completely new way. He wonders how that can even happen. He was once an elite athlete, relying on the coordination of muscle and bone that's now forever changed. Still, something in Dr. Ramirez's voice tells him it's possible if he's willing to fight for it. Later, a physiotherapist named Carlos arrives, a man in his mid-30s with kind eyes and a gentle approach. Carlos speaks to Miguel not as a patient to be pitied, but as someone who still has untapped strength and resilience. He talks through the initial exercises, simple at first, learning to shift weight on the bed, strengthening core muscles, improving upper body conditioning. Miguel tries to lift himself with his arms, feeling the strain of muscles unused to this new demand. Sweat breaks out on his forehead, frustration flares. He can't help comparing these feeble attempts to the agility he once commanded on the soccer field. Carlos, though, doesn't allow him to linger on what's lost. He acknowledges Miguel's pain and anger, but gently encourages him to see beyond it. He points out that physical limitations don't erase everything he ever achieved. He reminds him that athletes learn to adapt, to face defeats and injuries, to overcome obstacles. This, Carlos suggests, is just another challenge, albeit a far more daunting one. Miguel can't help but feel skeptical. Without his legs, how can he possibly reclaim a sense of purpose? Soccer was his identity, the core of who he was. Now that core feels hollow. Yet, as the sessions progress day by day, he notices small victories, the tension in his shoulders lessening as he learns to balance differently, the way he can lift himself a bit higher each time. He hates how hard it is, how his body betrays him with weakness and pain, but he also recognizes the glimmer of progress. Dr. Ramirez checks in frequently, adjusting medications for pain, monitoring his healing stumps, ensuring no complications arise. She praises his efforts, not for how far he can move or how quickly he recovers, but for his willingness to try. It surprises him how much her words mean. She sees him as more than a patient number on a chart. He's a person reclaiming his life in a new form. His family's support never wavers. His mother offers him gentle smiles every time he returns exhausted from a session. His father, though a man of few words, often nods approvingly, a quiet acknowledgement of Miguel's perseverance. His siblings find ways to lift his spirits, sharing stories from outside the hospital, funny moments in old family videos, reminding him that life continues to offer joys he can still experience. On a particularly challenging afternoon, frustration gets the best of him. He's been trying a set of exercises that test his balance and coordination, and it's not going well. His arms shake, his core trembles, and he can't find a stable center. He snaps at Carlos, voice edged with bitterness. He admits how unfair it feels, how hard it is to care about anything without the sport that defined him. He asks what's the point in rebuilding strength when he can never return to the field as he once knew it. Carlos listens patiently, not flinching at the outburst. When Miguel's voice quiets, Carlos speaks. Your career as a professional player might be over, that's true. But your influence as an athlete, as a mentor, is far from lost. You said you wanted to inspire young athletes, right? That dream didn't require you to keep playing, it required you to keep believing in yourself and in them. The words land heavily, yet they open a door. Miguel realizes that while his former path is gone, there may be another way forward. He recalls how, before the accident, he had planned on mentoring kids, encouraging them to find their passion for the game. That ambition never depended on his ability to score goals, it depended on his character, his experiences, and the wisdom he gained over years of training and competition. Could he still become that figure for someone else, guiding them from the sidelines rather than leading on the pitch? As days turn into weeks, Miguel engages more in the rehabilitation tasks. He pushes against the pain, not only physically but emotionally. He starts to see each exercise as a step toward a new identity, one not limited to what he lost. The hospital room no longer feels like a prison cell, it feels like a training ground of a different sort. He works on his arm strength, his balance, even visualizing scenarios where he might give a talk at a youth sports camp or help design training drills for kids who look up to him. Dr. Ramirez and Carlos notice the shift in his attitude. The anger and despair haven't vanished, but now they share space with something else: determination, curiosity, and a tentative hope. They don't push him too fast, they celebrate small milestones, like holding a certain position longer than before or managing pain with less medication. Each success, however modest, reminds Miguel that progress is possible. Outside, life continues. The soccer season he left behind moves on without him. He catches glimpses of matches on the TV in the hospital common area, feeling a pang of jealousy and loss. But he also feels a sense of detachment. He's beginning to accept that chapter is closed. He can watch these games as a fan now, not mourning what he can't do, but appreciating what he once achieved and what others continue to do. At the end of one particularly grueling day, as he lies exhausted but calm, he allows himself to think about the future again. Maybe he can design training programs for amputee athletes or work with organizations that provide sports equipment to disadvantaged communities. Maybe he can become a motivational speaker, telling young players that obstacles can be overcome, even if they're nothing like what you expected. The specifics are fuzzy, but the possibility of having a meaningful impact still lights a small flame inside him. He closes his eyes, drained but not defeated. The pain is there, the loss is still raw, but now he holds the truth that he can be something else, something more, beyond soccer. He can heal not just his body, but also find a new purpose, one that honors his past and embraces a future shaped by resilience, understanding, and the unbreakable spirit of an athlete who refuses to give up. Miguel sits quietly in the bright, airy therapy room, the hum of conversation around him fading into a gentle backdrop. The walls are adorned with motivational posters and artwork created by other amputees, each piece telling a story of resilience and hope. Today's session feels different. There's an undercurrent of determination in the air, a shared understanding that this is more than just physical rehabilitation. Dr. Elena Ramirez enters the room with her usual calm demeanor, a reassuring smile on her face. She greets Miguel warmly and gestures for him to join a group of fellow amputees who are already seated in a semicircle. Among them is Sarah, a former dancer who lost her leg in a car accident, and David, a construction worker whose injury occurred on site. Each person carries their own story of loss and adaptation, but there's a sense of camaraderie that Miguel hasn't felt since before the crash. As the session progresses, Miguel listens intently to the others share their experiences with prosthetics. Sarah talks about the painstaking process of relearning balance and coordination. Her passion for dance now channeled into advocating for more advanced prosthetic designs that allow for greater flexibility and movement. David shares his frustration with the current prosthetics available, emphasizing the lack of durability and functionality needed for physically demanding jobs. Their stories resonate deeply with Miguel, igniting a flicker of an idea he hadn't fully considered before. After the group session, Miguel finds himself lingering, absorbing the strength and determination radiating from his peers. He approaches Sarah, who is adjusting her prosthetic limb with meticulous care. "Your story is incredible," he says earnestly. "Have you ever thought about collaborating with engineers or designers to improve these prosthetics?" Sarah looks up, surprised but intrigued by his question. "I've thought about it," she admits. "But finding the right people who understand both the technical and human aspects is challenging." Miguel nods, feeling a surge of purpose. "I've been dealing with similar frustrations. What if we could bridge that gap? Create prosthetics that aren't just functional but also tailored to the specific needs of athletes and everyday users alike?" As the day unfolds, Miguel can't shake the idea. The resilience he sees in Sarah and David, their relentless pursuit of a better quality of life despite their setbacks, fuels his determination. He recalls his own passion for soccer and how losing the ability to play felt like losing a part of himself. But now, in this room filled with individuals who have transformed their lives through adaptation and innovation, he begins to see a new path forward. Later that evening, Miguel sits in the hospital room with his physiotherapist, Carlos, who has been a constant source of support. Carlos notices the thoughtful look in Miguel's eyes and asks, "What's on your mind today?" Miguel hesitates for a moment before speaking. "I've been thinking a lot about the prosthetics we're using. They're functional, but they don't cater specifically to athletes or people with active lifestyles. There's so much potential to improve them, to make them not just replacements but enhancements." Carlos listens, nodding slowly. "That's a powerful idea. There's definitely a need for more specialized prosthetics. If you're serious about this, I can help you find the right resources and maybe even connect you with some engineers." Encouraged by Carlos's response, Miguel feels a renewed sense of purpose. He starts researching and reaches out to former teammates and friends in the tech industry, explaining his vision for creating customized, high-performance prosthetics. His passion is infectious, and soon he finds himself in conversations with innovative engineers who share his commitment to making a tangible difference. One evening, as he pores over designs and sketches in his hospital bed, Miguel receives an unexpected call from Mariana, an engineer he met at a support group meeting. "Miguel, I've been thinking about your idea," she says enthusiastically. "I have some ideas on how we can incorporate lightweight materials and adaptive technology to enhance mobility and performance. Let's meet and brainstorm." The collaboration sparks a wave of excitement. Together, they begin developing prototypes that address the specific needs of athletes and active individuals. They test different materials, experiment with new joint mechanisms, and integrate smart technology that can monitor performance and provide real-time feedback. Each breakthrough fuels Miguel's determination, transforming his initial frustration into a driving force for innovation. As the weeks turn into months, Miguel's project gains momentum. He balances his rehabilitation sessions with countless hours of research and development, driven by the stories of those he meets in therapy and his own desire to reclaim a sense of purpose. His family remains his anchor, offering unwavering support and encouragement. His parents are proud of his resilience, while his siblings help him navigate the logistical challenges of starting a new venture. One day, during a group therapy session, Miguel shares his progress with the others. "I've been working on a new design for prosthetics that are specifically tailored for athletes," he explains. "I want to create something that not only restores mobility but also enhances performance, making it easier for people to return to the activities they love." The room erupts in applause, the first genuine smile in weeks lighting up Miguel's face. Sarah steps forward, her eyes shining with hope. "That sounds amazing, Miguel. I'd love to be a part of that journey." David nods in agreement. "Count me in. I've been waiting for something like this." The support and enthusiasm from his peers solidify Miguel's resolve. He knows there will be challenges ahead: funding, technical hurdles, skepticism from established prosthetic manufacturers, but he feels ready to face them. With the guidance of Dr. Ramirez, the expertise of Carlos and Mariana, and the unwavering support of his family and new allies, Miguel is poised to turn his vision into reality. As he looks out the window of his hospital room one evening, watching the sunset cast a golden hue over the city, Miguel feels a sense of hope he hasn't felt since before the crash. He's found a new purpose, one that honors his past and paves the way for a future where no one has to feel limited by their circumstances. The spark of inspiration he discovered in that therapy room is now a blazing fire, driving him toward a legacy of empowerment and innovation. The first light of dawn filters through the curtains of Miguel's hospital room, casting long shadows on the floor. He sits up slowly, the memory of yesterday's breakthrough still fresh in his mind. The idea of creating customized prosthetics had ignited a spark within him, one that now demands action. Determined to turn this vision into reality, Miguel begins reaching out to those who can help him bridge the gap between concept and creation. His first call is to Mariana, an innovative engineer he met during a support group meeting months ago. Mariana had always been fascinated by biomechanics and had a knack for solving complex problems with elegant solutions. Miguel remembers their conversations about technology and resilience, how her ideas often danced on the edge of conventional thinking. When he explains his newfound mission, Mariana's eyes light up with enthusiasm. "Miguel, this is exactly the kind of project I've been looking for," she declares. "Let's make this happen." Next, Miguel contacts Jorge, a resourceful entrepreneur he admires from afar. Jorge had successfully launched several startups, each time navigating the treacherous waters of funding and market entry with grace and tenacity. Miguel knows that securing materials and funding will be a significant hurdle, and Jorge's expertise could be the key to overcoming these challenges. When Miguel lays out his plan, Jorge listens intently, his mind already racing with strategies. "Count me in," Jorge says without hesitation. "We'll need a solid business plan and a compelling pitch to attract investors, but I believe in your vision." With Mariana and Jorge on board, Miguel feels a surge of hope. They decide to meet at a local cafe to brainstorm the next steps. The trio sits around a small table, laptops open and notebooks scattered with sketches and notes. They discuss the technical aspects of the prosthetics, focusing on creating designs that are not only functional but also tailored to the needs of athletes and everyday users. Mariana sketches out potential joint mechanisms that could offer greater flexibility, while Jorge outlines a strategy for sourcing high-quality materials without breaking the bank. As the hours pass, their ideas begin to take shape. They agree to set up a modest workshop in a rented garage space, pooling their skills and contacts to secure the necessary equipment and supplies. Mariana contacts suppliers who specialize in lightweight, durable materials, negotiating deals that will keep costs manageable. Jorge taps into his network of investors, pitching the project's potential for both social impact and financial return. Miguel handles the design and testing phases, ensuring that each prototype meets the high standards they've set. The initial prototypes are a mix of success and setbacks. The first model, while functional, lacks the necessary durability for athletic use. Mariana works tirelessly to refine the joint mechanisms, ensuring they can withstand the rigors of high-performance activities. Jorge faces his own challenges, dealing with skeptical investors who question the scalability of their mission-driven approach. "Why invest in something that's so niche?" one investor asks during a meeting, dismissing their proposal with a wave of his hand. Miguel feels the sting of rejection, but Jorge's unwavering confidence keeps him from losing steam. "They just don't understand the market yet," Jorge reassures him. "We need to keep pushing forward." Despite the skepticism, the team presses on. They host small focus groups with amputees and athletes, gathering invaluable feedback that informs their designs. Miguel's personal experience adds a layer of authenticity to their discussions, allowing them to address real-world issues that standard prosthetics fail to solve. They iterate on their prototypes, each version better than the last, until finally, they achieve a breakthrough, a high-performance prosthetic limb that combines lightweight materials with advanced joint flexibility, tailored specifically for active users. Buoyed by this success, they secure a small grant from a nonprofit organization dedicated to supporting innovations in assistive technology. This funding allows them to refine their prototypes further and prepare for a more substantial pitch to larger investors. The team synergy is palpable, each member bringing their unique strengths to the table and fostering an environment of collaboration and mutual respect. As they prepare for their next round of presentations, Miguel reflects on how far they've come. The modest workshop in the garage now feels like the birthplace of something significant, a place where dreams are molded into tangible solutions. He remembers the doubts and fears that once threatened to derail him, now replaced by a steadfast determination to make a difference. Mariana's technical prowess and Jorge's entrepreneurial spirit have transformed his initial spark of inspiration into a blazing beacon of hope. The day of the investor pitch arrives, and the trio stands before a panel of potential backers, their prototypes displayed with pride. Miguel delivers his speech with passion, blending his personal story with the technical advancements they've achieved. He speaks of resilience, innovation, and the unyielding belief that everyone deserves the opportunity to pursue their passions, regardless of physical limitations. Mariana demonstrates the prosthetic's capabilities, showcasing its flexibility and durability, while Jorge outlines their strategic plan for scaling production and reaching a broader market. The response is mixed. Some investors are visibly impressed, nodding in agreement with the mission and the potential for widespread impact. Others remain skeptical, questioning the profitability of a venture so deeply rooted in social good. Miguel feels the familiar pang of doubt, but he steadies himself, recalling the support of his team and the countless stories of individuals who have already benefited from their work. In the end, they secure a modest investment, enough to take their project to the next level, but not without lingering doubts about its long-term viability. As they leave the meeting, Jorge claps Miguel on the back. "We did good," he says. "This is just the beginning. Let's use this momentum to keep refining and expanding. We're onto something here." Miguel nods, feeling a renewed sense of purpose. The road ahead is still fraught with challenges, but with Mariana's technical expertise and Jorge's entrepreneurial acumen, he knows they have the foundation to build something truly impactful. Together, they return to their workshop, ready to tackle the next phase of development, driven by the belief that their work can change lives and redefine what's possible for amputees everywhere. As night falls, the workshop glows with the soft light of desk lamps and the hum of late-night work. Miguel looks around at his team, feeling a sense of gratitude and hope. They've turned a vision born from personal loss into a mission that uplifts others, breaking down barriers and fostering a community where resilience and innovation thrive. With each prototype they refine and each obstacle they overcome, they solidify their commitment to ensuring that Miguel's dream is not fleeting but a lasting legacy of empowerment and possibility. The morning sun cast a golden hue over the sprawling convention center, its glass facade reflecting the promise and ambition that filled its halls. Inside, the air buzzed with anticipation and the hum of countless conversations. Banners adorned with sleek designs and bold statements fluttered above booths showcasing the latest in medical technology and innovative startups. Today was the day Miguel and his team would unveil their first line of custom prosthetics to the world. Miguel stood beside Mariana and Jorge at their booth, a modest yet sophisticated setup featuring displays of their prototypes and interactive screens demonstrating their functionalities. The polished prosthetics stood proudly on stands, each one a testament to months of relentless work and unwavering dedication. Miguel took a deep breath, feeling the weight of both excitement and anxiety pressing down on him. This debut was more than just a presentation, it was the culmination of his journey from a devastated athlete to a visionary entrepreneur. As the first attendees began to filter in, Miguel greeted each one with a firm handshake and a confident smile. Industry professionals, fellow amputees, and curious reporters approached, their eyes filled with curiosity and skepticism. Miguel could sense the tension in the room, a mix of high expectations and the critical scrutiny that comes with introducing a new product in a competitive field. Dr. Elena Ramirez, ever the pillar of support, stood beside him, offering reassuring nods and quick words of encouragement. Carlos, their physiotherapist, was busy answering technical questions from interested visitors, his expertise lending credibility to their venture. Mariana meticulously adjusted the displays, ensuring every detail highlighted the prosthetic's advanced features, while Jorge managed the logistics, coordinating demonstrations, and collecting contact information for potential investors. The highlight of the day was scheduled for mid-afternoon, a demonstration by a former track runner, David Thompson, who had recently transitioned to life with prosthetics. David was not just any athlete, He had a storied career with several accolades, and his endorsement could significantly impact the reception of Miguel's prosthetics. As the clock ticked closer to the demonstration, the anticipation in the room grew palpable. Miguel watched from the sidelines as David prepared. The former athlete exuded a quiet confidence, his movements deliberate and controlled despite the prosthetics that had altered his life. Miguel felt a surge of pride and nervousness. This was the moment they had all been working towards, their creation being tested in real time by someone who understood the demands of high-performance athletics. When it was time, David approached the stage, greeted by applause from the assembled crowd. He donned the custom prosthetic leg, its design sleek and functional, engineered for both durability and agility. Miguel stepped forward, microphone in hand, and began his introduction. "Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us today. What you're about to witness is not just a piece of technology, but a bridge to a future where limitations are redefined and possibilities are endless. Our prosthetics are designed to empower individuals, whether they're athletes striving for excellence or everyday users seeking enhanced mobility." He gestured toward David, who began to move along the track laid out on the stage. The crowd watched intently as David sprinted, his movements fluid and natural, the prosthetic leg responding seamlessly to his actions. Every stride, every pivot showcased the prosthetic's balance, flexibility, and support. The audience was silent, captivated by the display of what technology and human resilience could achieve together. As David concluded his run, the room erupted in applause. The prosthetic had exceeded expectations, blending comfort and agility in a way that left no doubt about its potential. Miguel felt a wave of relief and accomplishment wash over him. The skepticism had been met with undeniable proof of concept. After the demonstration, attendees flocked to their booth, eager to learn more. Miguel fielded questions about the design process, the materials used, and the potential applications of their prosthetics. Reporters scribbled notes, some even requesting interviews to cover the innovative breakthrough. Industry experts offered cautious praise, acknowledging the advancements while also pointing out areas for further improvement. Miguel took each comment as valuable feedback, committed to refining their product to meet the highest standards. Later that evening, the expo began to wind down. The once bustling convention center now hummed with the quieter conversations of satisfied attendees and networking professionals. Miguel, Mariana, and Jorge gathered at their booth, reflecting on the day's events. The cautious praise and positive feedback were encouraging, but they knew this was just the beginning. As they packed up, a senior representative from a major prosthetic manufacturer approached them. "Your work is impressive," he said thoughtfully. "There's potential here, but we'd like to discuss possible collaborations to scale production and distribution. Are you available for a meeting next week?" Miguel exchanged a quick glance with his team, a silent acknowledgement passing between them. This was the kind of opportunity they had hoped for, a chance to take their venture to the next level. "Absolutely," Miguel replied with a confident nod. "We'd be thrilled to explore that further." Walking out of the convention center under the starlit sky, Miguel felt a renewed sense of purpose. The debut had been a success, validating their hard work and opening doors to new possibilities. He glanced at Mariana and Jorge, seeing the same determination mirrored in their eyes. Together, they had faced skepticism, navigated challenges, and emerged stronger. As they drove home, Miguel's mind raced with ideas for the future. The day had solidified his belief that his prosthetics could make a real difference, not just in the lives of athletes, but for anyone seeking enhanced mobility and independence. He thought of the stories he had heard from fellow amputees, each one a reminder of the impact they could have. In the quiet moments of the night, Miguel sat alone, reflecting on the journey that had brought him here. From the despair of losing his legs to the resilience that fueled his recovery, and now to the innovation that promised a better future for others. He knew there would be more challenges ahead, more hurdles to overcome, but the day's success had ignited a fire within him. With a supportive team and a clear vision, Miguel was ready to push forward, determined to turn their prototypes into life-changing solutions. The debut had set the stage for what was to come. Miguel looked out the window, the city lights twinkling like stars, and felt a deep sense of gratitude. He was no longer defined solely by his past as an athlete or the tragedy that had reshaped his life. He was an innovator, a leader, and an inspiration. And with each step forward, he was building a legacy of empowerment and resilience that would inspire countless others to pursue their dreams, no matter the obstacles. The weeks following the successful debut at the Medical and Technology Expo brought both triumphs and trials for Miguel and his team. The initial praise and interest had fueled their momentum, but with that came a new wave of challenges that tested their resolve. One morning, as the sun cast long shadows across their modest workshop, Miguel received an email from a well-established prosthetic manufacturer. The subject line read, "Potential collaboration opportunity." Excitement surged through him, but it was quickly tempered by the cautious skepticism that had become all too familiar. He forwarded the email to Mariana and Jorge, and together they scheduled a meeting to discuss the proposal. At the meeting, Miguel presented their prototypes with the same passion he had shown at the expo. The representatives from the established company listened attentively, nodding occasionally. However, as the discussion progressed, their initial interest seemed to wane. "Your product is impressive," one of them remarked, "but we're concerned about the scalability of your manufacturing process. Can you handle large-scale production without compromising quality?" Miguel felt a knot tighten in his stomach. The question was fair, yet it echoed the doubts he had heard from other potential investors. Mariana stepped forward, outlining their current manufacturing capabilities and the steps they were taking to scale efficiently. Jorge added strategic insights on optimizing their supply chain and reducing production costs without sacrificing the integrity of their prosthetics. Despite their thorough explanations, the representatives remained hesitant. "We see the potential, but we're not convinced it can be scaled to meet the demands of a larger market," another executive stated. The meeting ended without a clear path forward, leaving Miguel feeling the familiar sting of rejection. He walked out of the building with a heavy heart, the weight of doubt pressing down on him once more. Back at the workshop, the team regrouped. Jorge suggested revisiting their business model and exploring alternative funding sources that might offer more flexibility. Mariana proposed investing time into automating certain aspects of their production to increase efficiency. Miguel, though disheartened, recognized the validity in their suggestions. They couldn't let this setback derail their mission. As they delved deeper into refining their processes, the team encountered numerous obstacles. Supply chain disruptions caused delays in acquiring essential materials, and unexpected technical issues arose with their latest prototype. Each hurdle seemed to amplify their fears about the sustainability of their venture. Miguel found himself questioning whether they were stretching too thin, whether their vision was too ambitious for the resources they had. Amidst these challenges, testimonials from their satisfied clients began to emerge, offering a lifeline of hope. One story stood out. Sarah, the former dancer, had returned to therapy after using their prosthetics and was now performing again, her movements more fluid and confident than ever. Another client, David, had started a construction business, his productivity soaring thanks to the enhanced functionality of his prosthetic limb. These success stories began to shift the narrative. Miguel shared these testimonials in their pitches and presentations, letting the voices of those they had helped speak for themselves. Slowly, the tide began to turn. Potential investors who had once been skeptical now saw tangible proof of their platform's impact. The heartfelt accounts of individuals regaining their independence and pursuing their passions resonated deeply, overshadowing the lingering doubts. Encouraged by the growing positive feedback, Miguel and his team intensified their efforts. They hosted focus groups to gather more user feedback, refining their designs based on real-world experiences. Mariana experimented with new materials that offered greater durability without increasing costs, while Jorge explored partnerships with local businesses to secure more reliable supply chains. One evening, as the team gathered for a late-night brainstorming session, Miguel shared his fears openly. "What if we can't make this work? What if all this effort leads to nothing?" His voice wavered, betraying the uncertainty he tried to mask. Mariana placed a reassuring hand on his shoulder. "Miguel, look at what we've achieved so far. We've changed lives. That's not nothing. We just need to keep pushing and find the right partners who believe in our vision as much as we do." Jorge nodded in agreement. Every successful venture faces doubts and setbacks. It's how we respond to them that defines our path forward. We've got a solid foundation, and with continued hard work, we can overcome these challenges. Their unwavering support bolstered Miguel's spirit. He realized that doubts were not signs of failure, but indicators of the hurdles they needed to overcome to reach their full potential. With renewed determination, he focused on what mattered most, the people they were helping and the impact they were making. As months passed, their persistence began to pay off. A series of strategic meetings with smaller, impact-focused investors resulted in a crucial round of funding. This injection of capital allowed them to expand their production capabilities and invest in advanced research and development. The team's dedication to quality and innovation began to garner attention from industry leaders who had previously dismissed their efforts. Gradually, the skepticism from established companies and investors was eclipsed by the resounding success stories from their clients. Testimonials became more frequent and heartfelt, highlighting not just the functionality of the prosthetics, but the profound difference they made in people's lives. Miguel no longer saw the doubts as obstacles, but as milestones marking their journey towards something greater. One afternoon, as Miguel reviewed a new batch of prototypes, he received a call from a major sports league interested in their prosthetics for athlete rehabilitation programs. This opportunity validated everything they had worked so hard for, reinforcing their belief in the scalability and necessity of their product. Standing in the workshop, surrounded by his dedicated team, Miguel felt a deep sense of accomplishment. They had faced criticism, navigated doubts, and emerged stronger. Their perseverance had transformed skepticism into cautious praise, paving the way for their prosthetics to make a meaningful impact on a larger scale. Miguel looked around at Mariana and Jorge, their faces reflecting the same determination that had carried them through the toughest times. Together, they had built more than just a product, they had built a movement dedicated to empowering others. With each new success, their legacy grew, proving that with resilience and collaboration, even the loftiest dreams could become reality. As the sun set over the city, casting a warm glow through the workshop windows, Miguel felt a renewed sense of purpose. The doubts they had once faced were now stepping stones, guiding them toward a future where their innovations could touch countless lives. And with that thought, he knew they were just getting started on their journey to redefine what was possible for amputees everywhere. The momentum from the expo began to snowball, propelling Miguel's startup into a whirlwind of opportunities and challenges. Orders for their custom prosthetics surged, fueled by glowing testimonials and word-of-mouth referrals. What had started in a modest workshop now demanded the infrastructure of a growing enterprise. Recognizing the need for expansion, Miguel, Mariana, and Jorge secured a larger facility on the outskirts of the city, a bright, spacious space that buzzed with the promise of innovation and scalability. As they moved into their new home, the team embraced the fresh energy. The expanded workshop featured state-of-the-art equipment, dedicated areas for design and testing, and ample room for their growing team of designers and technicians. Hiring additional talent became a priority. They brought on board skilled engineers who specialized in biomechanics, creative designers who could blend functionality with aesthetics, and dedicated technicians to streamline the production process. Each new member infused the team with fresh perspectives and expertise, accelerating their ability to refine and produce high-performance prosthetics. With increased production capacity, Miguel's company began to reach an international audience. Partnerships with medical institutions and sports organizations opened doors to global markets. Orders flowed in from athletes seeking enhanced performance, construction workers needing durable support, and parents eager to see their children play without limitations. Each new client brought a unique story, reinforcing the profound impact of their work. Miguel felt a deep sense of fulfillment as he watched athletes return to competition with newfound confidence, construction workers regain their livelihoods, and families enjoy active, joyful lives together, all made possible by the prosthetics his team had created. The media spotlight intensified, with feature articles in prominent health and technology magazines praising the company's innovative approach. Interviews with Miguel and his team became more frequent, highlighting their mission to blend cutting-edge technology with compassionate design. These accolades not only validated their hard work but also attracted the attention of influential figures in the tech and medical industries. Invitations to speak at international conferences poured in, positioning Miguel as a thought leader in the realm of assistive technology. Balancing the rapid growth with maintaining the company's core values proved to be a delicate act. Miguel remained steadfast in his commitment to quality and user-centered design, ensuring that as they scaled, they did not lose sight of the individual needs of their clients. Regular team meetings emphasized collaboration and innovation, fostering an environment where every member felt valued and empowered to contribute their best ideas. One of the most significant milestones came when a renowned track runner, now a client, returned to the field after receiving a custom prosthetic. His triumphant return was celebrated across social media and sports news outlets, symbolizing the tangible difference Miguel's company was making. This success story inspired the team to push the boundaries even further, exploring advancements in materials and integrating smart technology to enhance functionality and user experience. Amid the bustling growth, Miguel found himself embracing his new identity as an innovator and leader. He took pride in mentoring the new hires, sharing his journey and instilling the same passion and resilience that had carried him through his darkest days. He established training programs to ensure that every team member understood the profound impact of their work, fostering a culture of empathy and dedication. As the company continued to expand, they remained vigilant in addressing the challenges that came with scaling. Supply chain management, quality control, and maintaining personalized customer service required constant attention and adaptation. Miguel worked closely with Mariana and Jorge to implement robust systems and processes, ensuring that growth did not compromise their standards. They invested in research and development, staying ahead of industry trends and continuously improving their prosthetic designs. The team's efforts culminated in the launch of an international distribution network, making their prosthetics accessible to underserved communities around the world. Collaborations with nonprofit organizations and governmental agencies helped extend their reach, ensuring that more individuals could benefit from their innovative solutions. Miguel's vision of empowering marginalized entrepreneurs and everyday users was steadily becoming a global reality. In board meetings, strategic decisions were made with careful consideration of both financial viability and social impact. Miguel's leadership style evolved, balancing ambition with compassion, always prioritizing the well-being of their clients and the sustainability of their mission. He fostered a sense of unity and purpose within the team, inspiring them to strive for excellence while remaining grounded in their shared values. One evening, as the team gathered to celebrate another successful quarter, Miguel reflected on the journey that had brought them here. From the devastating accident that had upended his life to the spark of inspiration that had ignited a revolutionary venture, every step had been marked by perseverance and unwavering belief. He looked around at his dedicated team, feeling immense gratitude for their unwavering support and shared commitment. As the company soared to new heights, Miguel remained focused on the future, determined to continue breaking down barriers and expanding their impact. He envisioned a world where advanced prosthetics were accessible to all, where technology and compassion worked hand in hand to enhance lives. With each new challenge overcome and each success celebrated, Miguel and his team solidified their place as pioneers in the field of assistive technology, leaving an indelible mark on the lives they touched. The journey was far from over, but Miguel embraced each new day with optimism and determination. Scaling new heights had not only elevated his company, but had also transformed his own identity. From a former athlete facing unimaginable loss, he had become a beacon of hope and empowerment, inspiring others to pursue their dreams and redefine what was possible, no matter the obstacles. Years have passed since Miguel first stepped into the world of prosthetic innovation, and the journey has been nothing short of transformative. As he sits in his spacious office overlooking the bustling city, Miguel reflects on the incredible path he and his team have traversed. The walls around him are adorned with awards, letters of gratitude, and photographs capturing moments of triumph and collaboration. Each item tells a story of resilience, dedication, and the profound impact they've had on countless lives. Miguel's company has grown exponentially, now operating on an international scale. Their custom prosthetics are being used by athletes pushing the boundaries of their sports, construction workers regaining their livelihoods, and parents joyfully watching their children play without hesitation. The demand for their innovative designs continues to rise, and with it, the responsibility Miguel feels to uphold the quality and integrity that have become synonymous with his brand. Sitting with Mariana and Jorge during a strategy meeting, Miguel discusses the latest advancements they've integrated into their prosthetics. Mariana, with her unparalleled engineering skills, has developed a new joint mechanism that offers even greater flexibility and durability, catering specifically to high-performance athletes. Jorge, ever the visionary entrepreneur, has secured partnerships with major healthcare providers, ensuring their prosthetics reach those who need them most across the globe. Amid the daily operations, Miguel finds solace in the personal stories that flood in from their clients. One letter, in particular, stands out. It's from Emma, a young runner who had once dreamt of competing in marathons before her accident. With Miguel's prosthetics, she not only returned to running but also qualified for the national championships. Her words of encouragement and triumph serve as a powerful reminder of why Miguel embarked on this journey in the first place. The media's continued interest has positioned Miguel as a thought leader in the field of assistive technology. Invitations to speak at international conferences, participate in panel discussions, and contribute to influential publications have poured in. Miguel embraces these opportunities, using his platform to advocate for greater inclusivity in technology and to inspire others who have faced similar challenges. His speeches often highlight the importance of empathy in design and the need for technologies that empower rather than merely replace. Behind the scenes, the company culture thrives on collaboration and innovation. New hires bring fresh perspectives, and ongoing training ensures that the team stays at the forefront of technological advancements. Miguel fosters an environment where every team member feels valued and motivated to contribute their best work. Regular brainstorming sessions and feedback loops have become integral to their development process, allowing them to continuously refine their products based on real-world experiences and evolving needs. Miguel also dedicates time to mentoring aspiring entrepreneurs and innovators within the community. He believes that his success is not just measured by the growth of his company but by the ripple effect it creates, empowering others to pursue their dreams and create meaningful change. His mentorship programs focus on fostering resilience, encouraging creativity, and providing the resources necessary for budding entrepreneurs to thrive. Looking out from his office window, Miguel observes the vibrant city below, a testament to human ingenuity and perseverance. He recalls the darkest days of his recovery, the doubts that once plagued him, and the unwavering support of his family and mentors that kept him moving forward. The letters and accolades he receives daily affirm that his true legacy lies not in personal glory but in the empowerment of thousands who have reclaimed their mobility and independence through his innovations. As the sun sets, casting a warm glow over the cityscape, Miguel feels a profound sense of fulfillment. His company stands as a beacon of hope and progress, breaking down barriers and encouraging diverse voices within the tech industry. The prosthetics they design do more than restore functionality, they restore confidence, enabling individuals to lead active, fulfilling lives despite the obstacles they've faced. Miguel understands that his journey is far from over. The landscape of assistive technology is ever evolving, and there are always new challenges to tackle and advancements to pursue. However, he is confident in the foundation he has built and the legacy he is creating. His story serves as a powerful reminder that even after immense loss, one can forge a new path filled with purpose and meaning. In the quiet moments of the evening, surrounded by his thriving company, respected partners, and heartfelt messages from clients worldwide, Miguel smiles, knowing that his greatest achievement is the countless lives he has touched and the enduring legacy of empowerment he continues to build. His once invisible presence now shines brightly, inspiring future generations to pursue their dreams, no matter the obstacles, and proving that true impact lies in uplifting others and creating opportunities where none seem to exist. Thank you for listening to this story. I'd love to hear where you're watching from and your name. Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate notifications so you never miss our next inspiring tale. Together, let's continue shining a light on those who dare to break barriers and uplift one another.